I have had the same phone number ever since I've been in office, and you are more than welcome to call me up until 12, 1 o'clock at night. Now, after 9 o'clock at night, if you got something that you need to talk about, that you don't want anybody to know about, call after 9 o'clock at night.
Tries to be very, very safe. We have different groups that meet, safety committees and things like that meet quite often, and we talk about it. If something happens, then the whole neighborhood may know what happened.
What kind of feel do you get? Do you get that we got an increase in homicides, the homicides are on a decrease? As a general, what do you guys feel? Increase. Okay, and you are right. We're slightly elevated in the 4th District. I'm going to speak to 4th District stats. We're slightly elevated in the 4th District. We've had 3 more homicides this year than what we had last year. Okay, 3 more. But when I say rapes, what do you guys, what kind of feel do you get for that? Rapes up, down?
There's a white saber blocking commander. I'm sorry.
White car?
White car.
But again, when I talk about rapes, what kind of feel do you get about rapes in the 4th District? Just, I mean, you think they would up? Anybody else think they would up? Down? Down? I'll tell you this, rapes are down in the 4th District. We're down 17.5%. When I talk about robberies, robberies up, down, where do we stand on robberies, group? Up, robberies up. How many people say robberies are up? How many people say robberies are down? Let me tell you, our robberies in the 4th District are down 22.9%. Okay, felonious assaults. Are we up or down in felonious assaults? That's the serious assaults, shootings. Are we up? Okay, let's say felonious assaults are down 7.39%. Let's talk about burglaries.
When you say up and down, are you talking about robberies and assaults that have been reported?
Right.
Because
Well, I can only
that's
go
the
by-
measurement.
I can only go by reported crimes. Okay?
Because-
But what I'm trying to deal with is perception, and I know where you're going, but what I'm trying to deal with is perception, okay? But I appreciate where you're going with that. But what were we talking about? Burglaries?
Yes.
Talking about burglaries? Burglaries up or down in the 4th District? Up? Okay, burglaries are down 15.3%. Theft. Let's talk about auto theft. Can we talk about auto theft? Auto thefts in the 4th District. Now, you remember last year I talked a lot about auto thefts because they were so elevated. They were up at about 101% at one time. Where do we stand right now? Are they still up? Are they down? Down? Auto thefts are down 31.3%. So out of everything that I just talked about, the only thing that's elevated right now is the homicides in the 4th District, and that's the trend that's across the city of Cleveland.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure you can.
Are carjackings included in car theft?
Carjackings are aggravated robberies.
Oh.
Okay, a carjacking is an aggravated robbery. It's not a motor vehicle
What does
theft.
that mean?
Okay. Car theft is if you're in your car and somebody either puts a gun, a weapon on you, or they just muscle your car away from you and they take your car. And carjackings are very rare in the city of Cleveland. They do happen from time to time, but they are a rare occurrence, and it's something that we take very serious. But again, the reason that I touched on some of these stats is because as we watch the news, as we look at some of the things that comes out, sometimes it leaves you with the feeling that crime is running just rampant in the city of Cleveland and in the 4th District. And especially when you look outside your door, you start to believe, well, I see a group of guys already feel like robberies are up in the area. These group of guys might be up to no good. Maybe they're some of the robbers. And all of a sudden you feel imprisoned on your own porch in your own house, on your own neighborhood. And that's what we want to break through, is giving you real information about where we stand in the 4th District and across the city. I want to speak specifically to the 4th District, but again, this trend goes across the city. This is a gang intelligence confidential document that I get once a year. I get it once a year. The FBI helps us put this together. Our narcotics unit, our gang impact squad, they put it together and they tell me some of the gangs that's in our neighborhood. I'll rattle some of these off for you. LA Gunners are out there. We got Kinsman County out there. Benham Bloods are out there. J Park is out there. ATM Jack Boys, Harbor Boys. List goes on and on and on. And I've talked at length about some of the gang activities because that's some of the headache that you guys experience, whether it be some of the robberies or even though the robberies are down, some of the burglaries, even though the burglaries are down, some of these individuals might have been involved in some of that. But if you were looking at the news today, if you got the news before you came here tonight, you will see part of the headline is 437 charges filed against 43 juvenile gang members called the Heartless Felons. And if you come to one of my meetings, I don't think I've had a meeting that I didn't mention this group. Very dangerous group and a group that has caused all kind of headache, not only in the 4th District, but across the city and throughout the county. This is a group of juveniles that started in Cuyahoga County Detention Home. And as they got paroled or whatever it is they call when they come out of the detention home, they don't just go to one neighborhood. So when I talk about like Benham Bloods, how they go to Benham, and I talk about Kinsman County, how those guys are in the Kinsman area, when the Heartless Felons came out, they came out to whatever neighborhood their parents lived in. So all of a sudden you had Heartless Felons living everywhere, and they were wreaking havoc across the city. Well, as you can see, we've been on it. This is a 6-month investigation that we cooperated with the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, and there's going to be a lot of charges, a lot of serious charges levied against some of these kids that were involved in some of the criminal activity in the neighborhood. Believe me, this is going to make a difference in what our summer looks like in the city of Cleveland.
Are they juveniles? They're juveniles.
These are juveniles. These are juveniles. Now, am I going to say we're not going to have any problems? It's going to be a nice, quiet summer. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that because of this investigation, our summer is going to be just a little bit more quiet. Okay?
And what are we going to do when these kids are released from jail the next time? How are we going to be working with them to prevent this from reoccurring?
And that's a good question. That's an excellent question. And I don't have the answer to that, but I do know that there's a team of professionals. Because some of these kids need help. They need serious help. They have home issues. They have social issues that's beyond what a police department or a Cuyahoga County prosecutor can solve. So I think part of the process is they're going to look at some of the issues that cause these kids to go bad, to go wrong. They're going to look at some of that and maybe get them some help as well. But they certainly have to be held accountable for some of the things that they have done. And they're going to be definitely held accountable for it.
But they're going back into the juvenile system where they created the gang group together. So how are you going to handle that in the system?
Well, that's not me. I'm sharing with you what's going on from the prosecutor's office, and that's an excellent choice too. I think actually the comment too. I think what they're doing is you're looking to move these kids beyond the Cuyahoga County Detention Center and maybe look at whatever state facilities are involved. I don't hold me to that, but I think that's what they're looking to do, is to see how we can hold them at a different level. Because what they've been doing at Cuyahoga County Detention Center has really reached beyond those walls and back out into our neighborhoods, and that's what we want to stop.
Commander, they were saying it was 48 of them that's in the juvenile. I just looked at the news. They said they're going to have criminal hard time. Are these the 48 people we're talking about now?
Those are them.
Okay.
And they have earned it. Some of the things that, some of the charges that they are being held on or being charged with is criminal gang and engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity, conspiracy, robbery, kidnapping, and aggravated robbery. Aggravated riots. So these are very, very serious charges. So I'm glad that they're being heard at a higher level because, like I said, I think that any kid can be saved if we put enough resources around it. But sometimes in order to save a neighborhood, in order to save some of the kids that's already out there, you got to pick out some of the weeds and let some of our flowers blossom, so to speak. Okay?
Do you have specifics for neighborhoods as opposed to the whole big district? Because it seems like while this is all down, generally in Larchmere it's up. That's how it feels.
Mhm.
I might be wrong, Candy can tell me, but it feels up to me.
I have specific
Good.
information, okay? Well, what general and specific information, let me say that, okay? And I'll get to it shortly when I get to my maps. Parks and pools, we know this summer is going to be a challenge. It always is a challenge. We get kids that's out there that play basketball in the street. We get loud music at night. We got a number of things. One of the things that Chief Williams, one of his first things that he did was put together our parks, pools, and recreation plan, which I have here. And what this directs me to do as a district commander is to make sure that our officers are out and making contact with you guys, okay? Making contact. That means that we're going to be out doing parking walks. You're going to see us walking plaza areas, Buckeye Plaza, but you're also going to see us on some of the side streets too. We want to make sure that we protect the park that we have right out here. We want to make sure that we protect Forest Avenue, that we're walking these areas. So if you're having problems in a certain area that you think might benefit from an officer walking a beat from time to time, just give me a call, let me know, and I'll put the guys out there from time to time. Now, are you going to see them every day on the same street? No, you can't do it. I just don't have enough manpower to do that. But maybe when he's walking, you build a relationship with those officers that you can talk to them. I'll tell you this, on afternoon shift, the officers that work your area are Newton and Bayhoff. Outstanding police officers. Two of the best that I have in the 4th District. In fact, Chief Williams tried to get them to go down to our gang impact squad, and they turned them down. They turned down the chief of police. That's an honor to be picked out by the chief to say, hey, you guys are great. You guys know your beat. You guys know how to do gang investigations. I'd like for you to be down there. What he told me and told the chief is basically, Chief, I know my beat. I know the folks in Buckeye. When you call me up and when you call them up, you just give them a nickname. You say, hey, they call him JJ. They can tell you right now, JJ's name is this, and he lives here, and his parents are this, and he just got out of jail. But they know the beat that good. And what I've been doing recently is when you guys call me, I'll have them speak directly to you so you can share that information, so you have that connection directly with those guys. Outstanding group, and they know the beat. But if they're part of this park and walk program, and they're going to be out there on foot patrol and some of the other things along with some of the other officers. Okay, let's drill down into some specifics. Specific neighborhoods. I will tell you that that crime is moving out of the Buckeye neighborhood. At one time we had crime was being elevated, but in the Buckeye neighborhood, crime is actually on a decrease in comparison to where it was a while ago. Candy, did you take my maps? I gotta blame somebody, Candy. Bear with me, please. Okay, what we're showing, and this is in the Buckeye area. Along Shaker Square, you have had some incidents. You've had some incidents of some car thefts in that area. You also have some thefts from motor vehicles in that area, Shaker Square area, and even spilling over into Larchmere. Okay, I will share with you one of the strategies that I'm using. I don't like to share my strategies, but I think you guys deserve. What we're going to do is we're going to throw an unmarked police car out there, an undercover car out there. We're going to put some eyes, some undercover detectives, some eyes on that car to see if anybody takes the bait. If they pick that up and go in there and try to steal that car, try to steal something from that car, of course we're going to take them down, and hopefully that arrest is going to solve our problem. But what I need you guys to do, because I talked about this Parks and Food plan, you know who's not included in this plan? Who's not written in this plan? Everybody in this room. But you are in the plan. You're in the plan even though your name's not in here, because without that phone call, without this information, without you writing that stuff down, there's no way that any of this is going to work. I gotta have that phone call, I gotta have that connection, I gotta have that information. So if you do see something suspicious in those areas, you see somebody out of line, know in your mind that these auto thefts are slightly elevated in that area, that they are breaking in some of the cars in that area. Know that and call it in right away so that we can have the guys that's in that area respond. If you can do that for me.
That's along the Shaker Square, Larchmere.
Along the Shaker Square beat, along and spilling over into Larchmere. Okay. Buckeye Shaker, we have had in the area of 116th and Woodland, we have had a couple of robberies in that area. Your robberies are taking place mainly on Fridays and Saturdays, between 1 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning. So I don't think that affects too many people out here. And just keep in mind, from a preventive standpoint, you can minimize the chances of you being a victim or falling victim simply by where you are and when you're there. So if it's on a Friday or Saturday night, you might want to consider maybe staying in the house or going somewhere that you're very familiar with to limit your the chances of you becoming a victim. Felonious assaults, we have had a felonious assault in the area of Shaker and 116th. Also, it looks like in the area of about 127 in Buckeye. And then the other ones are taking place outside of the area. Felonious assaults are basically happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they are happening in the middle of the night as well. But these are just some of the trends that's going on. Like I say, everything else is kind of trending downward.